I feel dragons. Am I going crazy? My brothers and sisters, I told myself this question a lot of times. So if I'm not imagining myself things, and on what point did I discover that it wasn't just in my imagination? So, you have to know something about me. I was never diagnosed with it, but I know that I have a form of autism. And it's very easy to say you're crazy, you're delusional, you have things inside of your mind that are not true, that are not there. So a lot of people have immediately their response when I say I can feel dragons. It's going to be inside of my mind, my head. And I wanted to explore everything about this, if this is real or not. So I had my awakening in 2005. And I was convinced that everything that I saw was real. Everything that happened to me was real. But after a while, in 2006, when my awakening happened and everything, went silent, and it was like I was having a new life. But I was also asking myself, didn't I imagine myself all of that? Because yeah, of course I didn't know about my autism back in the day, but I was going to know it at that moment. At 2005 of April, I was walking in my city, and there was a store, and it changed everything. There was a dragon for sale, and immediately it reminded me from the dragon that I've seen inside of my visions. And I wanted to know how much it was. Eventually, I never even knew how much it was because I forgot about the image. Because when I stepped inside of that store, the woman behind the counter, the woman who immediately was looking at me and pointing at me, oh my goddess, she said. That is why I say it too. Oh my goddess, there is a high energy entering my store. Looking behind me, if she was pointing to someone else. No, I'm talking to you, she said. You like dragons, aren't you? Don't you? You like dragons. I never told anything about dragons. I was too afraid to talk about this. I was too afraid of all the judgmental comments that was going to happen. And I was so surprised. I was so in shock whenever she said that. And she said, you are with a high energy. In fact, you are with a dragon. You are together with a dragon, and now your dragon is here in my store. And I was so confused and so surprised about this. And this was my cue that everything that happened to me was not imaginative, was not fantasy. It really happened. And I also asked her that. She was the first one to know everything that happened to me. And I was so surprised that she pointed out my dragon. She could even describe my dragon. She had eyes who could see a lot more than our eyes can, because she learned how to feel and how to describe the energies, spirits, you can say. But the spirit that I had, she said, was a lot more powerful. She said, you love dragons. I said, yeah, I have something for you. And she gave me my necklace. I wear it now 19 years around my neck. 19 years. Never put it off because it means so much for me. It was also a cue to say, you're not crazy. Everything that happened to you was real. This awakening, this feeling, these emotions. And she was actually the one pointed out, but you seem to have a form of autism. I didn't hear this from the doctors, didn't hear this from my family. I heard this for the first time from her. And I was a bit like, don't say this, I'm not crazy. She said, doesn't mean that you're crazy, but it opens a lot of doors. It means that your autism makes you someone different than everyone in the world who just follows a line. But you, with your autism, you are going like this. And eventually, the dragon sees this opportunity to, when you step out of this line, to grab you. And you just need to feel that. You just need to experience that. And that is what a lot of forms of autism is. Of course, with my autism, I can say I live alone. I have a job. I'm a forklift driver, and yeah, I don't need any assistance or something like this. Of course, people immediately have their judgmental comments whenever you say, "Yeah, this guy who has autism believes in dragons." Well, my brothers and sisters, um, autism, many forms of autism, actually opens the door for a lot of spirits. Spiritual energy can actually much more grab you and hold you whenever you have this, because you are not following a line, you are not obeying the rules of everyone else, you are not obeying actually the rules of humanity with this. You are completely different than them, and eventually spirits see their opportunity to make use of that. Of course, in America, I heard that a lot of priests or extremist priests called autism actually a form of devil or maybe demon possession. Well, my brothers and sisters, that is not a demon possession, of course not. It just makes you much more who you truly are and what you are. In all of my experiences, I can say that everything that happened to me was not at all in my brain. Of course, I thought that I was going crazy. The month before I entered that store, because of that dragon image that stood for sale, I never even knew how much it was. I was so surprised, and I was there almost every day just to hear her wisdom. She was so wise in many things, and she learned me so many things about dragons. And she also teach me a lot of myself, because I've never heard that I was autistic. And this was the first time that I've ever heard that. And I was a bit like annoyed, like, don't say that, I'm not crazy. But she immediately said, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you are imagining things. It's very much real. And I can see that. I feel that everything about you is so powerful. Everything about you is draconic. And it's a long time that I've ever felt something like this. And she was so happy that I wanted to return all the time, but I needed to know much more about this dragon that she was talking about, that is by my side. And eventually, she also said something that I did not accept, and that is that, yeah, you have also a lot of, a form of autism, because of your draconic path. Because of your draconic path. It's not that your draconic path was made out of autism, but the other way around. Yeah, that she was convinced that it was like this. That it was also that it pushed me actually far, far away from humanity, much more even. And so I was devastated when she went away. I mean, she moved away, and I needed to learn by myself. But she said, "You best learn by yourself, because this path is going to be very personal. This spiritual path that you are going to." And the spiritual path that you are going to, it's not something that you choose like a religion. It's a spirituality that you need to accept. It's a spirit that is by your side, and you love him very much. And I know that, I feel that, she said. And all of the things that she teach me, like magic and rituals, and what dragons like and what dragons don't like, what makes them angry, what makes them sad, and she was so into learning much more about dragons. And she said she also learned a lot more of my visits with her. She learned a lot more, because every time when I entered the store, the dragon also came inside of that store. The energy was filled with draconic energy, and she loved that. She was also inside of newspapers, because she could actually see the future, and she could solve a lot of cases. The police even needed her assistance, and she solved a lot of cases. And also, she was clear viewing, and she could see a lot of things, including my dragon. And that's what I was so surprised. Every hair on my body stood up whenever she said, "You love dragons. There is a dragon by your side, and I love it." Never wear. Never wear it off. Always wear it. And that is what I do. because I will never forget her words. And that is also was my cue that it was not just in my head, that it was not just visions and dreams that are empty. She said to make a book, to create a book, an empty book, and write everything down so that you can actually reread your stories, your experiences, your feelings as well. Everything that happens to you needs to be remembered, because everything that's going to happen to you is with the dragon is going to be pure manipulation, and you are trying to be by his side, and he is trying to be by your side. You are a dragon eye. I learned everything from her. And I'm so grateful from this. There are some people in this world who are seeing much more. We see, we feel much more. And I'm very grateful that that my path led to her, so that I can know my autism and what it means, and what kind of a spiritual path this is. This I'm so grateful that my path actually went, and I proudly call her my mentor, my dragon mentor. Home in many places, a witch, a very powerful witch, with a store, with a store. I don't know where she is now, but I'm very grateful that my path led to her, and I would love it that everyone would have that. That is also a bit of my cue for helping you, my brothers and sisters, with my stories, and you do whatever you want. I mean, with your ideas, yeah, you can say what a crazy guy. You can you have this all in your head. You're delusional. It's not at all real. Whatever is happening, you're free to think whatever you want. You're free to think whatever it's your head. It's your life. You think whatever you like. If you think it's all BS, then you're free to think whatever you want. But I was thinking about this and saying to myself, Tim Heyer, you're going insane. You feel dragons. You until I met her, and she said, "You have a dragon by your side." My brothers and sisters, be blessed.